Bye.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can see by the title below, today I'm going to be doing a video all about how I take my notes. So I'm going to be showing you guys all of the things that I use, apps, supplies, how I take my notes, like my note-taking system, organization system, and everything like that. So if you follow me on TikTok, or if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter even, then you would know that I'm in love with digital note-taking. I recently got into digital note-taking at the beginning of the school year, and I'm honestly obsessed. I don't have to use any notebooks, pens, pencils, highlighters, none of that. Everything is on one device, and it's just really convenient. Without further ado, let's get into how I take my notes. So first we're going to start off with supplies. So the main supply that I use is right here. This is my 3rd generation iPad Pro. It's the 11-inch model and it's in the color space gray, and this is literally what I use to take all of my notes, along with the 2nd generation Apple Pencil. Like, you can attach it to the iPad magnetically and then it charges just like that. So super cool. And the case that I have is just from eBay. If I can find it again, I will link it down below. The next supply, I guess you could say, well, the next 2 are apps that I use to take my notes. So the main note-taking app that I use is GoodNotes 5, and it is about $7.99 in the App Store. But honestly, if you're debating whether or not you should buy it, I will definitely suggest that you do. It is an amazing investment. I love it. It's so versatile. It's user-friendly. It's really easy to use, honestly, and I just love it altogether. So if you're thinking about getting GoodNotes, I definitely suggest that you get it. The second app that I use is called Over, and this is where I make all of my headings and titles for my notes. So I will show you guys how I do that a little bit later in the video, but it's a really cool app just to make my notes and, you know, a little more aesthetic, a little more pleasing to the eye, I guess. So yeah, that is it for all of the supplies that I use. Now let's get into actually taking notes. So here is my iPad. As you guys can see, it's really pretty. I tried to make it, again, really aesthetic and really nice to look at. So the app that I use is obviously called GoodNotes, like I said before. This is just, you know, the basic overview of it. So here are my senior humanities notes. This is just my notebook that I made on GoodNotes. So I'm just gonna do a little flip through of my senior humanities notes, just so you know what they look like before I show you how I actually make them. Alright you guys, let's get started. So in order to make a new notebook, you have to click on this little square right here, and obviously you can see it gives you a lot of options to make notebooks, folders, images, scan documents, take photos, import documents, and just make a quick note. But today we're going to be making a notebook. So as you can see, I'm going to click on the notebook option. And here is where the fun stuff begins. So you can choose a whole bunch of different covers. They're super nice, super pretty. I love them. GoodNotes has so many different options. And I'm just going to choose this one for the sake of the video. And the type of paper that I use for my humanities notes is the ruled narrow paper. So I'm just going to give it a title. I'm just going to title it something random. And yeah. So after you hit create, you will be taken to the very first page of your notebook. But before we start taking any notes, we're going to head on over to the app called Over, which is where we're going to make our title. So here I'm just going to click on the plus sign on the bottom of the screen, hit the transparent option because we want the background to be transparent. And I'm going to choose the Facebook cover option so that all of the words can fit on one line. And the font that I use to make my titles, I'm so sorry if I mispronounce the name. I believe it is called Amanice. I'm so sorry. It'll be up on the screen. But this is the font that I use. I downloaded it from dafont.com. There are so many different videos on YouTube on how to download certain fonts, but here I'm just resizing the text so that it's nice and big and it looks nice on GoodNotes. And I'm going to save it to my camera roll as a photo so that I can import it into GoodNotes later on. here, as you can see, I'm just cropping and resizing the text so it looks more like a header. And very soon you will see me go in with the gray highlighter and go and make drop shadows on each letter of the text. So here's that right now. So now that I'm all done making the drop shadows, I'm going to switch on over to my ballpoint pen, making the color white, and I'm going to make lines and dots on each letter to make it look like light is bouncing off of them. So now that that is all complete, I'm going to head on over to the highlight, and I'm going to choose my accent color, which is purple for today. And I'm going to choose the second largest thickness for the highlighter, which is 3.5 millimeters. And I'm going to make 2 lines on both sides of the title. So now for the actual note taking, and I would like to start off by apologizing because some of the clips do go in and out of focus. I did have the lens on autofocus, so the lens did, you know, kind of go crazy a little bit, and my hand was in the way for a lot of the writing portion of this, but I'm so sorry. I just wanted this to be as realistic as possible. So as you guys can see here, I am just using the accent color as my subtitle, and in black I write my points, so the details underneath the subtitle, those are always in black. Then for the sub points, so like sub details underneath each point, I put a little arrow next to it and I write that down also in black. Vocabulary, I actually write the vocabulary word in black and then highlight it in my accent color. Usually I see people writing it in their accent color, but I've decided to write it in black and highlight it. a subpoint or a summary or anything along those lines, and there is a specific term, word, concept, phrase, anything like that that I really have to remember and really just glue to my brain, I write everything else in black and I write that specific term, phrase, or word or concept in my accent color. So that is it. That is the end of how I take my notes. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a like down below, comment down below, anything you want, because that's what the comment section is for. And subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this one. Follow all my social medias. They'll be listed down below. And I guess that is it. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video.